Okay, hello everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Can you all see and hear me okay? If you don't see me, make an appointment with your ophthalmologist. If you don't hear me, your ear, nose, and throat doctor will be the one. Either way, hello. Let's see who we have here. Uh, Arthur Bora is here. We have Thomas, Rex, Miyamoto, Ankur, not Arthur. And so let's begin. All right. So Anchor is the first one. It says, hello, Meran, 18 male from India here. Not able to go out to gym, college, because of false attraction. I fear that if I go outside, I would act on my intrusive thoughts. Yeah, then you might get a shaft up your ass and you say, whoa, shit, no, that's not what I want. Is that what you're waiting for? Don't be afraid of intrusive thoughts. Manage intrusive thoughts by facing your fear, meaning putting yourself in that position that you think intrusive thoughts will have a feast, but then analyze it at that moment. Let's say, this is intrusive thought. This is HOCD. That's not me. That's my brain. That's not me. I'm not the brain. Brain is not me. And then go through the 4 steps of Dr. Schwartz. At that very moment, you relabel it. You explain it to yourself. I seem to be attracted to this, but I know my awareness, my preference, my choice is not this what thought suggests. Then you said, I'm feeling attracted now. You explain it to yourself. I'm feeling it. Not that I want to, I'm feeling, meaning the brain, my brain feels that. So you explain to yourself what the brain is doing, not to take that as if it's you and your awareness and your choice is actually saying or suggesting. So you explain that to yourself cognitively. My brain is creating intrusive thoughts that I'm interested in this person. So let me look at that. Okay, that person. So what am I afraid of? That's a guy. It's got a dick. Not interested in that. And there's nothing that would make me feel they're any better than me. Maybe they look more manly or handsome. So I may feel envy. That envy creates possibly admiration. That admiration translates in your brain as if you're interested to be close to them so that you can benefit from their popularity or their looks, as if you are also same manliness as you think they are. These are all illusions, intrusive thoughts. But comparison, we boys always compare ourselves with somebody else because we want to be the top dog. And if somebody looks a little bit manly or more handsome or in somewhat ways attracts girls, we may be envious. And that envious translates into interest in your brain, wrongfully so. And then you confuse it as if it's a sexual interest rather than feeling inferior due to that person's maybe muscles or looks or whatever they're wearing or how they could be looking good for some girl because they're, fitness level or whatever else it is that they're doing. So these thoughts got to be recognized by. So you speak about it in yourself, within yourself. So it's relabeling the thought, explaining the thought. Then you reframe it. Say, am I interested in that person sexually, or it's just envying and kind of feeling inferior? Maybe I should go to the gym more. Maybe I should build my muscle. Maybe I should feel more confident. Maybe I should learn about some of the guys who are actually behaving in the way they do that they attract girls. So you kind of reframe that. Hmm? I'm feeling anxious now. So you relabel it. Am I feeling anxious? Is there anything wrong? Or I just feel something wrong. You reframed it. And then once you recognize this and discuss this intrusive thoughts, then you refocus your energy from now having recognized what this is to something positive, like maybe drinking a tea, as simple as that, looking at the trees, something that interests you and is positive, a good music, talking with some friends. And that way, your brain learns how to revalue. So, relabel, reframe, refocus to something positive, and brain automatically revalues. After a while, this whole process that I just explained happens in nanosecond. Your brain automatically is now conditioned to revalue everything and not take what the brain suggests as anything truthful, but an intrusive experience. And that's how you rewire yourself constantly. But you got to keep at it rather than being, I'm afraid to go to the gym. No, you go and look at their dicks and look at their ass and look at their feet and look at their face and look at the same shit that everybody else is. Nothing more than you and nothing so attractive. Then you can see that these are all intrusive attractions, false attractions, because it's suggested by your brain. And you think you're the brain, you're supposed to follow the brain. And that's the problem. You're not the brain, and you're not supposed to follow the brain. Brain is not intelligent. There's no intelligence in the brain. There has never been an intelligence center localized by all these brilliant neuroscientists and neurosurgeons, such as Dr. Leibet, Dr. Penfield, Dr. Speary, Dr. Owen. None of them were ever able, especially Dr. Penfield and Dr. Speary, that their job was to operate on the brain so many times and to experiment to localize different centers. They could localize motoring center to stimulate something, a hand, a limb would move, or occipital center for sight centers, a light would show up if they stimulated in the patient who's being operated on, or speech center, they would stimulate some part of the brain and the person would say something or make a noise sound, so they could localize speech center, but they could never localize love center, sexuality center, compassionate center, math center, political center, consciousness center. None of that were ever able to localize that in the brain. So brain is not smart. Brain is not intelligent to decide for you or what it suggests to have any meaningful relevancy to you and your choices. You live by your choices and vetoes, not by suggestion of intrusive thoughts or otherwise by the brain. If you understand all these, then you can go to the gym and ridicule what the suggestion is coming to your brain, and you follow what your choices are and your values are, what your preferences are in life. And that's how you roll, by your choices and vetoes, not by suggestions, images, feelings, or whatever that the brain induces as intrusive thoughts, or the power that it has over the body to make the body react to certain things which are not your choice and are not in line with your values. All right. Thomas says, hello, we spoke about live. Yeah, we did. And Rix is here. Says hello. Miyamoto's hello. Miyamoto says, how are you, Maran? Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm here. Anchor says, I'm always into girls before and now. Also, I don't want to change to anything. You won't. You have to understand, this is a glitch. It's like saying, I got a cold. I don't want to be cold all the time. No, it's a glitch. You gotta cure it. You gotta take care of it, manage it. And this way, you gotta rewire the brain And the pathway is already laid by many experts and brilliant psychologists, psychotherapists, such as Dr. Philipson, Dr. Schwartz, Dr. Jan Weiner, and many other who are expert in OCD and OCD subsets. Not just any psychologist can understand what OCD, OCD subsets, and HOCD and so on are, and the components of the brain that are involved in that. They each have their specialties, and these experts that I named, their specialty is OCD, OCD subsets. They know what they're talking about. Their research is on those bases. And many psychologists, psychotherapists don't even know half as much as I know about this topic, because that's not their field. They're focused on different parts of psychology. All right. Yeah. Anchor, stop that bullshit. Go to college, don't do anything. That's how you become stronger and you become more aware and more protective of your awareness and your values. You got to understand your brain needs your help to help it to rewire itself to your default setting. You can't be thinking that the brain has any power beyond your choices. If you look at the video that I prepared in regards to experiments that was done by these brilliant doctors, Sperry, Penfield, Libet, Owen, and discussions about dualism and materialism from Aristotle's time, of point of philosophical point of views, to how the modern science have proven what Aristotle was talking about in 1,000 years ago. They're all in this video that you may understand all these evidences, not just philosophical point of views for these evidences, but also scientific modern science way of showing these evidences being actuality and the truth of the matter, to help you to realize that there are aspects of the mind and you that the brain cannot even reach, let alone be your master. You are the master of the brain, not the other way around. Brain malfunctions like anything else in our body, any other organ malfunctions, kidney, liver, this and that, and you got to help it to cure it. And so the same here goes with the brain. It has a glitch of OCD, and I've explained in many other videos the whole process and the whole all the little components involved in the brain, starting from midbrain, the amygdala, and then midbrain, basal ganglia, striatum, caudate nucleus, and all these other components that are involved in the malfunction of the signaling system of the brain. Then you will be able to understand it better. And the video is there. And this, I'm going to put it back up here again for you guys. The ones who haven't seen, it's a long video, but it packs lots of information. Lots of information. You know, once people don't know about OCD and OCD subsets such as HOCD, they freak out when such experiences, some glitches show up in their brain. But it is not something to be afraid of. It is something for you to encourage you for more information about how your psyche is put together, what its shortcomings and malfunctions are, and to learn to become a better mechanic for your own machine. You become your own psychologist by understanding all these glitches and shortcomings of the human psyche, rather than freaking out. Oh, I'm changing. No, that's what the brain's power is, that can make you feel or think these ways. But once you become knowledgeable about how the brain is put together, what are the malfunctions and glitches in it, then you will help it. You understand that the brain is asking for your help. It's fucking up. So you need to help it, to heal it, to make it work as it was in day one or the default setting. So you have to have compassion for your brain rather than thinking the brain is your boss. It's not. The poor bastard doesn't know shit. And it was added to you 40,000 years ago. You didn't have this brain. So you were existing without this brain. So you're not the brain. Brain was added as an apparatus later on as the brain, as human psyche developed. So learn that this is not you. It is an organ of you, and it's got fucked up. You got to help it, heal it. This knowledge makes you stronger in whatever gender you've always been. And that is what's so beautiful about the thing that the people who go through OCD, they become stronger and wiser than ever before once they understand this glitch and learn and educate themselves of it. So if you're heterosexual and you go through OCD and OCD subsets such as HOCD, you become a stronger heterosexual once you cover and understand what this is all about. All right. Melantes here says, this week was good. I was doing great, but suddenly I fall again in this thought. And then I try to imagine worse scenarios and see if I get aroused later at night. I had HOCD dreams. Naturally, you're thinking about it all day long. You're going to dream of it. That's how dreams mostly are coming to be. I'm struggling from porn and masturbation addiction from last 6 years. It has damaged me so much. I have read many books. I tried many no fab challenges, but not able to quit this addiction. It's not an addiction. You call it addiction, then you kind of dub it as if you can't get out of it. Any addiction, there's a way to get out of it. And this simply, you got to focus your activities and your interests on positive things that you're interested in. And once your mind is busy in productive ways, in productive projects, you're not thinking about sex. Look, we only think about sex when we don't have anything to do. We may actually be thinking about sex while we're doing other things, but very sporadic, not focused, because we are focused on completing something important. When you're at the job and you're talking with your clients, you're focusing on selling them something or giving the service that they're requesting or your expertise that they're paying for and all that. So you're into that. When you become busy in your life and focus on the benefits of what the projects you're taking on, such as your studies or your job, whatnot, then you're focused on accomplishing that. When you're focused on accomplishing something that is important to you and you have proven to yourself that it is important, such as it has to do with your future comfort and money to pay rent and food, so you're studying to get a better job and all that. So it's an important thing you're doing. Once you're convinced it's important, you'll be focused on it. When you're focused on an important project that you're taking on, you won't spend time on thinking about sex while you're doing that, because your system knows for your survival you're trying to complete the project, and sex, it's not its time right now. So the addiction will go away while you dedicate your time to positive and productive topics and projects, because of you need that for your advancement and survival and so on and so forth, economic well-being and so on and so forth. So you need to shift your attention to being more productive life, so you won't have so much idle time and keep thinking about masturbating. I can understand that, because I too come from a strong background. And I'm familiar with that feeling of while you're driving to work and all you can think of, because it's just the way we are. However, you need to give priorities to say, look, I'm going to take a vacation from these sort of things because I got to focus on my work. I'm going to go to work at the bank, or I'm going to go work at the computer company, and we're going to go work at wherever I'm going to work. That's important for my survival and advancement. So it's not the time for, it's not that I'm going to put the sex away. I'm going to take a vacation from it for today, and or my next project, or tomorrow, or whatever it is that is not appropriate time for me to focus my energy on something other than what the project I'm focused on. So you treat that way, and before you know it, it's not really having any priority in your mind unless it's time for you, and appropriately so, you allow it and you focus on that, then bang, you're there. Hmm? But you don't have to keep. Also, when you constantly watch porn, guys, it insensitizes you towards that particular action, makes it mechanical rather than romantic, and you lose certain kind of respect for women, which they're highly respectable. The most important thing in life, one of the most important things, if not the most important thing in life, is women. And you got to love them, you got to protect them, you got to be appreciative, you got to be respectful to them. And that is counterproductive when you're watching porn, because once in a while maybe it's fun and it's okay, because we have all these urges to see all these beautiful sexy women, and we don't have them at our disposal as it is right there in the video, and it's pleasurable to some extent. But if you watch that so often, you will see that the woman is portrayed as an object most of the time there. And while we all enjoy that kind of a scenario in our own bedroom with our women, but that's not something to believe that that's how women should be treated all the time. And also, if they are not giving consent to feel that way, and it's not the mood and the bedroom place, then, but you will still have that kind of a tendency to see women as objects rather than as respectable human beings, and try to negotiate and understand and learn and share experiences with each other. So you lose respect for a very important part of this life, women. That's another thing about porn, that you don't want to get into it so much. Everybody has watched porn, and everybody has watched lots of porn, because we as boys, we just love to see that, to experience that sex, and we don't have that. So we just watch that sort of thing. And it is at its time very satisfying. But in reality, if you continue it, it becomes a habit, and that habit forms a certain kind of a mentality about women, which is not becoming of women, which is not suitable or justified for all women. So you should be aware of that, not to train your brain to automatically think less of women just because in porn they're always being, just looked upon in one angle. And that's not how to learn how to respect, value, and honor women. Sex is sex, and that's beautiful, and that's between you and your girlfriend. But not allowing something like porn to become your measuring stick for how valuable or how important women are, and how should you should treat them. You will automatically, unfortunately, change your views every time you see a woman in the street. All you think about is that they're an object, and that's not the right thing to do. So you're programming yourself in many different negative ways by watching porn. Anyhow, so you want to watch porn and you're interested in women, watch girl on girl porn, because there's no this with nobody's, it's just all, and it doesn't let you get into all these intrusive thoughts and all that. You'll just be, enjoying the two women. You get the gist of it. All right, now let's go to Anchor. All these questions are answered in my videos. I can't answer your questions. Each one of them is a video. And these are all because you seek assurances and assurances. I've explained everything to you already in the videos and in live streams. Sir, why this HOCD makes it feel so real? Like, you see, I've already told you that it can make it feel real, but it's not. But you keep asking it because you just on that cycle of asking for assurances. I'm trying to tell you, stop questioning assurance. Just say, okay, it's a thought. What do I care? It's a thought. If it was a thought about a horse fucking another horse, you wouldn't think of it. Because you'd say, it's a thought. It's disturbing thought, or it's just a thought. It's garbage. But when it comes about the thought, still a thought, still same source, randomly making thoughts meaning nothing. But because it's about your gender, suddenly it becomes meaningful and the source becomes reputable. It's still the same brain that thinks about, I don't know, ant, horses, tigers, or all kinds of weird things, other weird things in life, and you don't give a shit. And you consider them a thought, bad thought, nasty thought. Hey, that's stupid. Or whatever, you just let it be. It's a thought. Who cares? But when it comes to that, suddenly it's not a thought anymore. It's still a thought. It's just about you. But still, the source is an idiot source. Brain makes thoughts about everything. But when it makes about you, you think, oh, it must mean something. How come it didn't mean anything when it was talking about, I don't know, two female horses getting sexual or two male horses getting sexual? Those things, you say, oh, that's stupid, man. That's not for me. But when it comes to some other kind of thought that has to do with your sexuality, suddenly you believe it. Brain has the power to make body react. That's its power. But just because it does make the body react, that reaction of the body is not an evidence that the thought about you is correct. It's the power of the brain over the body that it can make that. Your brain can make you feel you're itching somewhere on your skin. But it's not really itching, but it makes you feel really itchy. Sometimes, you may be peeing and you feel, oh, it fell on my thighs. But nothing did. But because you're seeing peeing and splashing in the toilet, and you can understand that a ricochet can happen. If you drop something into water, it can splash back up. And that thought can create a sensation when the wind is blowing against your, I don't know, thigh or something, movement of some sensation. You say, oh, that must have been a drop of the piss that I just did came back on my thigh. You create that and you believe it. Once you believe it, you have no way out. But just because you believed something, that doesn't mean it's actually fact. It just means you're fucked up in the head and you believe something that it never happened. But you now want to remedy it. Now I got to wash it. Now I got to clean it. Something that has never happened, but because a sensation. Brain can create a sensation. But that doesn't mean that sensation really is real, pertaining you, or actually happened. Or you may just feel, or your asshole itches. So you start itching it. And you're itching, you say, oh, feel good. Ooh, nice. Oh, what does that mean? My ass feels good when I itch it. Does that mean I'm gay? All these are just thoughts that the brain makes, but you're not supposed to associate all these things with something that is not in line with your value, and you don't choose it. It's not your preference, but you're naturally weary of it becoming part of you. It doesn't become part of you. You're born the way you're born, and you die the way you've been born. You're born heterosexual, you die heterosexual. You're born gay, you die as gay. That's your inclination. But thinking in the middle of it, oh, today it itched, so I may be homosexual, and tomorrow it's not itching, I am heterosexual. It's all bullshit that goes through the brain, comes from the fear of not being what you prefer to be. And this is not limited to you. Homosexual people have the same fears as we heterosexuals do. They don't want to be heterosexual. And they're fearful if that means they're now heterosexual. But it's the same. It's sexual orientation OCD. HOCD in their case. And heterosexuals have this fear of, because they love who they are and they want to continue being who they are, that's what their identity is. And there's so much talk about other sexuality and so on that is introduced into the brain, and brain makes thoughts about it, makes illusions about it and suggestions about it. And then you're fearful of, no, I want to be who I am. And these questions come up, and then suddenly such suggestions is introduced by the brain, and you wonder because you have the fear of not being what you prefer to be. same way as any other sexes that would have HOCD kind of a reaction in their brains. So once you train yourself and understand all these things, it helps you not to be so careless about thinking that HOCD makes you feel some brain makes you feel something in your body, then that must mean something. No, it doesn't. Brain associates so many things. Some maybe naked muscle of a horse you see, suddenly you may get aroused because it's shiny, it's muscle, it represents your masculinity, it represents maybe sex, because naked sex, or you see a horse's dick up and you may get your dick up. What does that mean? You want the horse fuck you, or you want to fuck the horse? Neither one. The brain associates dick, hard on, sex, me hard on, sex, woman. And you don't realize it, it just gets you arousal, and you think, oh, I got arousal because I saw a man's naked body. No, you saw naked. Naked is associated to sex in the brain. You don't even see any of that. It just goes to the sex that is in line with your values, and you get arousal and say, oh, because it was the man's body. No, because it was the concept of nakedness and sex go together, and something triggered that concept, and that is connected to the concept of sex, and you react to it. And now, because your body has reacted to some kind of a association to sex, you interpret it, oh, because I had this arousal, it has a direct link to what I saw. No, what the brain associated what you saw. You could see a flagpole and you get a hard on. What does that mean? You're a flagosexual or what? A pole sexual? So you got to educate yourself about brain is not an intellect and is not you. It just makes thoughts. And so many topics of this sort of stuff is in the air all the time during our lives that it just picks up all these ingredients and makes thoughts. And then you start worrying about, oh, what is it going to do to me? Nothing. You live by your choices and vetoes, not all these topics and suggestions and discussions or glitches of the brain. All right. So stop asking assurances and start living your life, and be the commander of your brain, not the brain commanding you. What are you going to do next time it tells you, jump over the cliff? Oh, my brain said so. So I'm a bird. Let me jump. Is that what you're going to say? Or you're going to say, fuck no, that's stupid. Or that's not in line with my values. That's not what I prefer. That's not my choice. Isn't that what you're supposed to say? You say that in front of the something that is not logical for you, in front of a cliff, or jumping out of an airplane without a parachute, or I don't know, sticking a knife in your body. All these are simply, you make a decision and a choice, and you judge it. You don't believe it just it came to your brain. But suddenly you believe the brain as being you and legitimate judgment of your identity when it comes to sexuality. How come you don't do that when it comes to other things? When the brain says go up that flagpole and jump down face flat on the tarmac or on the street, you don't do things. You judge things. You know, that's crazy. That's not in line with my values. But when it comes to that, suddenly, oh, does that mean something? Why? What's the difference? You live by your choices and vetoes in all cases. Doesn't matter what the brain says or doesn't say, or what kind of a reaction the brain forces the body to do or associates it with, whether you know it or not. You live by your choices and vetoes. Who cares what thought comes to your face, comes to your head? Yeah, okay. I saw that guy. Okay, the thought comes in, oh, sucking that guy's dick. Or it's fucking me, or I'm fucking. Okay, these are thoughts. So it doesn't mean just because a thought that is going through glitches of somehow people, when they see they're so diehard heterosexual that they imagine all these things just to prove themselves that I am alpha. Well, you are. You don't have to prove anything by allowing all these kind of thoughts and actually inducing these thoughts just to say that, see, I'm brave. You don't need to. Thoughts come and go. Let them come and go. Whatever they are, you don't need to analyze them. You don't need to come up with a conclusion in life that this thought came to me, so I have to now make sure that that thought didn't have anything to do with my gender. No, you don't have to do any of that. You don't have to come to a conclusion. You don't have to get assurances. You don't have to, nothing. Just understand, I allow thoughts to exist. I have my own values and my own set of preferences, but thoughts can exist. Like all other people in this world, all their lifestyles and philosophies of life and whatever it is that they want to do, you allow them to exist. You tolerate all lives. We all do. We all live in this earth, on this earth. So many people have so many different lifestyles, so many different things they do, so many sports they like, so many different food they eat. They're all different, to each his own. We don't care. Same thing. The brain comes up with all kind of thoughts. We don't care. It's thoughts. They're allowed to live out there, and the thoughts can exist as they show up. I don't have to agree with them, but they can exist because thoughts are not me and I'm not thoughts. So what do I care what they are? It could be anything. Could be thinking about my father fucking me, I fuck my father, and so on, so fucks that. I fuck a horse, horse fucks me, and that guy sucking my dick, I suck that. Doesn't matter. That's not my choice. That's brain. And I don't give a shit. I don't need a conclusion about, no, the brain should only think about the things that are in line with my values. No, because brain is not me. I'm not the brain. As I'm not the people out there and they're not me, so they can do and say whatever they want to say, doesn't affect me. Doesn't involve me. I can hear it, I can see it, but it doesn't mean that because I see it, that's me. Because I hear it, then that's part of me. No, same thing. Just because the thought showed up, it's in my brain, I'm aware of the thought, that doesn't mean it has anything to do with me. It's just like the people out there. I'm not connected with them. I'm not connected with the brain. It just so happened to have this, to use this screen in my head. And I'm seeing the screen of people who are doing things with my eyes. They're out there. That screen, so many other people, different way of lifestyle. This screen, so many suggestions and thoughts. Either way, it's not me. So I don't give a shit. You don't need conclusion. You don't need assurances. Thoughts can come and go. I live by my vetoes and choices and preferences. What is in line with my values. Rest of it is meaningless, irrelevant. All right. Rick's 3 a.m. Okay. 3 a.m. Says Mehran, recently my guys, what happened to you guys and girls? You're supposed to let me know your age, gender, where you're tuning in from. 3 things. I happen to know Rix is a lady, but because she has talked to me before on the comments, and she, in her comments, I figured it out. But it would be beneficial for me to know your age, gender, where you're tuning in from. It helps me a little bit of a cultural background. It helps me a little bit of your age and your gender, how I can address you, what level of discussion and all that. And Rick says, Mayron, recently my days are going worse. Yesterday, my boyfriend broke up with me because I was too busy and can't give him time, and I was struggling with my mental health and family issues. And he broke up with me because I was too insecure about myself, and I'm too introverted and can't give him much time. But I still tried my best for him. Still, he broke up just because of that. It's not just because of that, Rix. A relationship to people are important, whether you're a girl or a guy. In this case, your boyfriend, he wants to be spending time with his girlfriend. And you have given priority, which I understand why, to some psychological issues, which is very important. But you have made that to be as if it's real because you're seeking conclusion. And until you seek that conclusion, you're not able, or feeling that you're not able to have a regular relationship with your boyfriend. However, to have a regular relationship with your boyfriend and get rid of this, what is bothering you and occupying your brain, you actually need to be with your boyfriend. But you're waiting until you deal with this so you can be with your boyfriend. But in order to deal with this easier, you actually need to socialize with your boyfriend. So it could both be done together. Because what you're thinking is a habit that you've created in the habit center of your brain, which is started with intrusive thoughts. And then every time you had the obsession for that intrusive thought showing, you had the obsession to do a compulsion to get rid of it, to challenge it, to do something about it. And then when you did those things, you sought assurances or you thought of it logically a certain way, and then you felt good. You said, okay, I'm good. I'm good. I solved that question that had come to my head because of the intrusive thoughts about this other girlfriend. Hmm? And when you did that, you got dopamine secreted and you felt good about it. And then there were more thoughts, and you kept paying attention to the thoughts, which meant you need more assurances, more dealing with it to get that high, that dopamine, that feeling good that, okay, I dealt with it. Good. And every time you did that, you became more and more addicted to dopamine. So you were not doing the compulsion, which is the thinking over and seeking assurances and analyzing what thought is coming in and all that for the purpose of as compulsion for the obsession. You were doing it without you knowing it to get that ah satisfaction, which was dopamine. Once you were getting addicted to dopamine, and all this time, while you were being addicted to dopamine, you were also stimulating the habit center, which is the third circle in the striatum in basal ganglia and midbrain. These three circles, goal finding circle center and reward center, dopamine, and the habit center, they're all on top of each other. So every time you do a compulsion for obsession, which is goal finding, the compulsion, is stimulating the dopamine center, reward center, and at the same time stimulating the habit center. But you're not aware of it until it's a bit too late. You're addicted on the dopamine part, so you keep doing the compulsion now, even though you don't necessarily focus on I'm doing the compulsion for the obsession reasons. You're doing it because you want that feeling. And all this time, you're moving closer to closer and closer to it to become your habit. Once you do that a few thousand times and it becomes your habit, then you don't even know if you're doing it for compulsion, for obsession, or you want the dopamine, because all you care about is that's your habit. You get the benefits of the others, but you don't care about it. You just do it because you think you got to do it. Same thing has happened to you. You kept doing it, looking for assurances, getting the dopamine, and then looking more for assurances, getting the dopamine because it gives you feeling good. So all these thoughts were kind of indirectly encouraged to keep coming to your head so you can deal with it, negotiate it, seek assurances and certainty, and then test it, examine it, and then you feel at the moment, good, then you get the dopamine, and inch by inch you were getting yourself closer to stimulating all the time the habit center, and eventually became your habit. Now it's your habit. You think you're solving something, but there's nothing to be solved. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing different from you. It's just that you turn your head into a habit of thinking about these intrusive thoughts. Now you're creating it in order to create it, to deal with it, to get the dopamine, and then to do your habit. Now you just only focus on the habit. And you say, why is it there? To the point that your boyfriend left you. And no wonder. If I have a girlfriend who is not, or a prospect who's not really paying attention or giving me enough time, or has all kinds of different excuses, and then wants to set up another time, and then that doesn't material and sets another, I say, fuck it. Life is too short. What's so special about this one that I have to wait for her fucking brain to kick in and be clear so I can just go out and have dinner with her or hold her hand or a couple of kisses and maybe end up in bed? It's not worth it. All that pulling myself away from all other possibilities just so that, what for? So the guy ended up thinking the same way. It's okay, you're busy with whatever the fuck it is that you're busy. Okay, you don't want to talk about it, you don't want to say it, okay, you don't want to discuss it. Fair enough. But I can't hang around to do what? I'm a guy. I want my woman. I want to go out with, I don't know, do things. Dinner, movie, walk, talk, conversation, have tea. I don't know, the rest of it. If it's not there, why the fuck do I want to be with a woman anyhow? Why does he want to be with you if you have no time to, be romantic with him or do things with him? What? He's not your dad. Eventually says, fuck it. I'm young and I want to, get some. Let's face it. So that should be another motivation for you to get rid of that shit, meaning not get rid of, like, do something to get rid of them being produced in your head. No, just don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. You live by your choices and vetoes, and thinking about that other girl means nothing. It's another intrusion by the brain. Let it be. Being with your boyfriend and socializing with him, it helps you to get out of that habit of thinking about those sort of things, and keeps new things in line in your presence for you to use to think about. If you constantly swim in the same muddy water, you'll always be in that water. You won't get to fresh water as long as you just keep going round and round. You need to go further and get into fresh water, right? Introduce new branches of rivers that are coming into that body of water that you're swimming. Otherwise, it's the same thing. You go round and round. So if you constantly think about this girlfriend or these thought patterns, you will always be there. But if you go with your boyfriend and other friends, then suddenly you're introducing new waters into this pond, and then you have other ways of swimming, pathways to swim, and you finally get out of this pond that is constantly been swimming in the same shit, because you now gave yourself new options, new things, new topics, new places to swim through. Same thing with your boyfriend, new things to do, new things to introduce to your brain and bring the attention of the brain, so it becomes more a positive, redirecting. Number 3 of Dr. Schwartz, redirecting to something positive activities. So you all got to go and figure out and watch Dr. Schwartz 4-step that I've introduced to you guys, which I'm going to put the link of Dr. Schwartz's video that I created explaining the 4 steps, and apply it to your case in OCD, HOC, whatever it may be. And here's the link to help you to rewire your brain through neuroplasticity, which is all the process of understanding, relabeling, reframing, refocusing, and reevaluating. There's also the text of Dr. Schwartz 4-step that anytime anyone who's got an appointment with me on Skype, I will offer it for you guys, and you can have it. And Rick says, I already told him he deserves better because of my family issues and my mental health. But later he said, no, I only want you. I accept all your strength and weaknesses. He gave me all hopes. And now I told him, can we still be friends? Right? Because I didn't wanted him to go away from me. But no, he blocked me now. I'm literally crying. And because of this, I'm not doing good at all. Well, it's your own fault, isn't it? You wanted all the oranges and apples around you, but you didn't want to eat them all, but you wanted them to stay fresh for you whenever you want to enjoy them. Who knows when it would have been 100 years from now. They get rotten and they eventually perish. If you don't eat them, they won't stay fresh for you. Eat them while they're fresh. The guy was there for you. You said, well, he's here, so let me focus on shit that is hitting my head. Instead of dealing with that, you were trying to find a conclusion for that, which is bullshit. It's like some asshole comes along and says some shit about you, and you spend your lifetime to prove that that shit that the asshole said about you is not true. Why would you care? If it's charging you through legal means, then you get a lawyer and deal with it. But you don't sit around and wait to prove to the assholes and all kinds. It could be because they said something that is not true, but I got to prove it. No, why? You don't have to. So if the thought shows up about something that you say, well, that's not something I want, then pay attention to the one that you want, to something that you want. Otherwise, they eventually can't hang around. What for? What for? So you can't expect the guy to hang around because you are not ready, but you want him to hang around. No. It's like saying, I'm not hungry, so you don't eat either. Well, he's going to wait for maybe an hour and says, fuck it, I got to eat. But you say, no, but I'm not hungry yet. I will be hungry. Can you hang out? No. He says, no, I can hang on an hour, but I got to eat. I got needs, emotional needs, physical needs. And you simply denied yourself from the pleasure of having a normal life and denied him as well. But now you say, I'm crying because, well, you're crying. You gave priority to your brain. Now you're crying. You had all the opportunities. You could have dealt with it while you were with him. You could have put all these knowledge that I've put out here to your disposal and use it rather than just read it. Says, well, okay, but now I'm still thinking here. Well, you got to do stuff to get these things rewired. So what you can do is learn from it and understand that that intrusive thought destroyed your life. That you still want to pursue it, you still want to honor it, you still want to think of it as important, you're still looking for a conclusion, you want to test it and examine it, or you can understand by allowing it to seep through your brain and occupy your brain so much, you're going to lose the rest of opportunities in your life. So is it a good thing, HOCD, to follow and try to defeat it rather than ignoring it and go with the fourth step? Simple as that. But you want to destroy it and never show up. Don't be in my head. I destroy it. I burn it. I don't know why you're there. I test myself. I know I'm this. All that effort and energy causes more of that same thing stay in your mind. Instead, you got to understand that is affecting your life. So the best way to do it is to understand this is just a glitch, a malfunction of the signaling system of the brain. You don't have to test yourself, assure yourself, or examine yourself, or prove to the brain that it's wrong, or anything, or any conclusion. You just simply say, that's a glitch. That's HOCD. I go on with my life. I try to use the tools that is available by the psychologists, Dr. Schwartz and so on. And I watch these programs of experts, Dr. Philipson, Jan Weiner, Schwartz, and the rest of them. And I watch Mehran's videos, and I get over this by understanding and educating myself. That's the way, not by testing and assurances and putting the whole life on hold in order. No, challenge it. You think you like that girl? Look at the girl's body. Well, naturally, woman's body is beautiful, and you see it in yourself, and that arouses you, and you think, oh, I'm a homosexual. No, you're not. A woman's body is sexuality. Whether you're a woman or a man, you look at it, it's beautiful. And that beauty projects onto yourself. And you see that as a sexual way, you may get aroused. That's the same thing when men see another man, it's possible for their brain, they have no interest in that guy. But the brain associates naked with sex, and sex to them is sex with women. And that association gives them arousal, and then they think, oh, they got aroused because they looked at that guy. No, they looked at something that associated itself in the brain to the concept of sex, and that gave the arousal. That's the end of that. But you go testing and assurances. Why did I get? Listen, you can get an arousal by rubbing yourself against a satin pillow or just a soft pillow or a toy. What does that mean? You're toyosexual now or pillowsexual? You rub yourself to I don't know, a flagpole. It's soft, You're a kid. It's soft and cool and slippery, and you're over your pants. You could get erection. What does that mean now? I want to fuck a pole. These are exactly the same as when you guys could get some kind of a feeling when you look at, I don't know, some same gender with something naked showing or good facial expression or a smile, whatever it is, that brain does its own association to the things that associates with sex. And that softness, that emotion, that good looks and whatnot, all is interpreted differently in the brain and associates itself back to the sex that is in line with your values. But it's got nothing to do with what you just saw. But you can't go further than that. You think that was because of that. No, it's not. Because as I said, you can get similar feelings with a body of a horse or a sheep or I don't know, whatever it is that could represent any association with softness, smoothness, sexuality, which leads on to this concept of sex. And the body can react because body doesn't understand. It's by touch. If you close your eyes and rub any certain sensitive part of your body to something soft, you may get erection. And you open your eyes, you see, well, that was your guitar. So you're guitarosexual now. What the fuck? Stop all this bullshit. Thoughts can exist. I don't have to go for a conclusion. I just do my own thing according to my vetoes and choices. That's all. Stop analyzing shit. All right. Aman says there's this girl, she sometimes flirts, sometimes says not interested. Anyways, I wasn't into her. She said, I'll be into you if you come to my city. Anyways, she started telling me story of how she got laid. She told me, she told the story how she fucked with many guys, which destroyed my self-esteem. Why destroy your self-esteem? You gotta be encouraged. As I never did. Ah, and I started feeling so bad that guys out there do this very quick with girls, and I haven't done it. Well, it comes. Your time will comes. You didn't have the appropriate proper opportunity in front of you. Sometimes it takes a slut to encourage you and open the doors for you. Sometimes it just happens to be the girl that you're looking for, and you both click, and so on and so forth. But you just haven't had that. So why are you blaming yourself for it? And hmm. Yeah, Thomas, just stop listening to brain altogether. Don't go here and there. What about this? What about that? Just brain is fucked up. Go with your values, preferences, and choices. Not what the brain's. Don't analyze the fucking brain about these things. Don't give it that podium to keep asking questions, analyzing. It's just fucked up. So let it be fucked up. Let it rest. Ah, exam says, hello, sir. I'm a friend of Chinmay. Ooh, Chinmay, long time ago. A girl and I started chatting in 2017. She was using me for many things as an emotional pillow and would throw her garbage at me. She manipulated and gaslighted. She used me a lot. She was got into relationship with her longtime crush, a guy from her own community. I got away, switched off my phone, concentrated on exams, and cleared because I knew she didn't value. Okay. Now, while I was away, she would call me, and actually, whenever I would switch on my phone, her notification would pop up. I did not pay attention and went away, telling that I would return later. I cleared the exam, and when I called, I felt I should not cause her vibe is negative and very toxic, so she would drain me. But in an is there a question here? Exam is it? Am I reading your experience story? Uh, Post the moment I called her, but I guess but she was now talking to someone else, and she what? And the worst part, he had cracked an exam which I was targeting next. I fucked up. I did not want her attention, and I felt extremely traumatic because I felt I knew how this person is they never valued me, and obviously I knew career was the only thing I had left. Salt on wounds. She started preparing for the okay. Where's the end of this thing, my friend? Exam. I was thinking, okay. She copied me and felt my life was taken away from me. All was exam and studying, and now I think about studying. She comes to my mind. Okay, my self-respect is negative. Talk to voice head. I don't know where this is going. My self-respect, self-esteem, self-image is zero, even negative. I would say the negative is going someone. Okay, where's the question? Okay, I'm sorry. Exam. I can't read the whole thing. It's just not making sense to me. What the purpose is? No, you just learn from this and don't help people that are not there for you. Live your life, and you should have focused on your exam, not helping her to get her exam done. Because you're still. You said, look, you keep putting these on her. She used me. She used this. You allowed her to use you. You have a choice. But your dick was up, and you wanted to be with her, and so you played any game she said, just because you may get some. You learn from it. Don't be like that. And just simply say, look, I'm not available. You're not available. I'm not available. That's the end of it. Have a nice day. Another woman. Again, you guys didn't give me your age, gender, where you're tuning in from. I need that. Wherever you are is a country of millions of people. You choose another woman. Forget it. No woman is the ultimate unless you get to know them and spend a lifetime with them. So when at the beginning or first few years or whatever, you associate with a woman and she's playing with you or not really going anywhere, that's not the end of the world. Wish her well, goodbye, next, whenever it happens. But because you don't want to wait for the next, you keep hanging on to this one, even though this one your gut tells you it's not the real one, it's not the right one. But you still hang around because why? Because you don't want to go start it again. I already got a hook in here. I can reel it in. No, it's not a fish. Its consciousness is not balanced with you. Its time frame, it's using you. It just wants to feel confident, and it's not, you're not getting the attention that you want. So fuck it, stop it. You keep going deeper and deeper. You become more and more involved because you're a man, and we are programmed for procreation. We see a female, and we get a chance to go one further. They allow us to come further. Then that encouraging for you to go more. And now you say, well, I've come this way. There's only a little bit left. Maybe I'll eventually get to her. These are genetically programmed. And you keep following her into longer. This is hard to come back and say, oh God, if I want to start again, I got to go back to the main road. And that's a long way. And then I got to find another one. Then I got to go all this way back in with her. Well, I'm right here. Let me just endure a little bit more of her bullshit. And that's when you actually keep going and nothing happens. So you got to cut that off when you see that it's not working. Don't go further in. You make an appointment with a girl 3-4 times and she still can't make it, and she can't give you a suggestion for when and commit to it. Forget it. Don't call her anymore until she calls. And if she calls, here's the exact plan and time and date. You may accept. If not, again, okay, we'll do it next week. You say, yeah, okay. Always let them call. Don't call them anymore. That's the end of it. And when they call, see where it's going. Well, it's been a few months. Nothing has happened. Don't continue. Go with another girl. Don't waste your time. You get more and more involved and emotional, and you get hurt for no reason. Okay. And Rick says, so what do you do to get over him? Well, just understand that you sacrificed your relationship and your lifestyle for some fucking thoughts. Instead of consider the thoughts as thoughts, intrusive thoughts, you gave them character, you gave them reality, you gave them actuality, you gave them, like, if they have power to change you, and all that too much attention. Whatever it was, you thought you liked the girl, okay, whatever the fuck, okay, but your preference is that I don't want to have sex with the person. Many people could be enjoying the energy or the presence or friendship of the same gender as a friend, or they may have a certain feeling one day that, he's cute or whatever, but they never want to fuck with the guy. It's the thoughts or the feeling of interest or camaraderie or protection or being together too, not being alone. All these feelings makes you feel like, oh, I'm interested in the guy. No, you're interested in that whole friendship, in that whole protection, that whole certain kind of a small community against the world, that you're not feeling lonely as far as others being stronger than you. Now you have a buddy, and it is possible for anyone to kind of like their buddy, and the intrusive thought says, oh, you like him sexually. Okay, whatever. Okay. You don't have to now prove it that, oh, no, I'm not. Well, because you don't. It's natural to like someone, but that doesn't mean that you want to have sex with them. It's not your gender. I mean, it's not the gender that you're interested in. So therefore, it's a thought, it's a feeling, and it's got no further involvement or story to it. But you make a story because, oh, it shouldn't have. I'm so perfect, and I'm alpha, and these sort of thoughts should not. No, it goes to anyone's psyche because it's not you. It's the brain. Brain is an apparatus working in progress. It's not a complete developed brain. It's got lots of glitches, like anything. And so everybody's brain has and can have all these sort of glitches, feelings, and thoughts, and intrusive thoughts, and so on and so forth. Just don't analyze it. Say, okay, that's what it was. So what? Simple. Yeah. Sometimes you pass by and you hit some kind of a sharp stick on the tree or on the wall, and you feel good. It really fixed my itch here, or fixed my muscle that was hurting. So what does that mean? Oh, I really like to do that all the time sexually. No, it somehow, some things that is just not your choice may make you feel good, but that's the end of it. It doesn't have any sexual connotation to it. Let it go. All right. Chinmay says, what? Guys, make the questions short because it's like I gotta read the 2 pages to find out what the question is. Exam, all you're saying is all thoughts. They have no basis. They're nothing factual or truthful. You don't have to abide by the thought because the thought showed up. Now you have to prove it's not true or it's this way or I get a conclusion. No, just fuck it. Go on. You don't have to be depressed. You don't have to be depressed unless you're clinically, biologically, chemically have some kind of a chemical imbalance that blood tests can show. If it's not that, the rest of it, you don't have to be depressed. You can get up and go out and do sports or be with your friends or do whatever it is you want to accomplish. You don't have to sit and sulk because this girl now reminds you every time you want to exam. It doesn't have to be. So fuck it. Remember, think of something else when you're examining, when you're studying. Reprogram yourself. It doesn't have to be her. And it's not a sin to not like her, not to want to be with her or think of her. It's not. It's just that you're at the age that you want a woman and this one is available. So you think, oh, that's the one. No. Next. You'll soon get used to it that sometimes you got to leave the girl. And later on, you find out most of the times you got to leave the girl until you find someone who feels the same way and she's going to stick around. If they're not making an effort, as at least 3/4 of the way of the efforts that you make, leave them. That's the end of it. Because your programming to be with them is making you hold on while the girl is not interested or is not really making an effort. That you got to let go. Have respect for yourself. Okay. Chinmay say hello, sir. Hope you have a good day. Exams friend. I was the one who insisted him to resort to your guidance. He hasn't been able to come out of it since years. Years? This has been years? I thought it's just recently. Well, listen, Chinmay or Exam, if you're listening, you got to go and make an appointment with me on my site, mind@sixtruth.com. Make an appointment for, I don't know, half an hour. So I give you 1 hour because I can't really address this many reading here and keep reading it and then try to understand. There are questions I want to ask back and forth. It won't be able to be done at this stage in a live stream. So go make an appointment with me from my site, mind@sixtruth.com. And I give you a longer time if you don't have money, but still got to be a registration there. So I can allocate time and take away from the clients that I have and to set you up with the time that you and I on Skype can go back and forth and see what the hell it is that's bothering you. Because I still, from all these, I just read some stuff and really didn't understand what the real problem other than what's obvious is. Says, I'm unable to focus on myself, my job. You're not unable. You just don't do it. You have given priority to that chick, to your feelings for that chick, rather than giving priorities to your survival, which is your job, your exams, your rent, paying for your rent, paying for your food. None of that's come from that chick. You don't have to be depressed. You don't have to be defeated as you think you are. A pussy has made you defeated. That's it. All fucking in the future, all interest, all accomplish, all the money you want is all gone to because of pussy. She doesn't want you. And that's the end of your life. The God created you and your mother and father and paid so much money and effort to bring you to where you are so one pussy can down you and you're gone because she didn't want to give it to you. Does it make sense? Is that what you're worth? If that's what you're worth, stay depressed. If not, you have respect for yourself and you understand there's so many amazing women out there that they will appear in your life. You're too young now. I don't know how old you are. But there are definitely other women. I'm 67 years old. There are 5 or 6 women that are interested in me, and I am just still trying to see who, if any of them. You have to have confidence and build something and then have something to offer to women. Get your fitness level, get your job, get your money, get your perseverance, get your hopes and get your aspirations and positiveness and energy, all of that. And then you'll see your appeal will change, and the women, you will have more chances than one, rather than this being like a little cat downed because some woman didn't want you. And she's been fucking with everybody else, but not you. And you let women to use you, that's what happens. You allow yourself to be depressed so you can't get your job. You're going to lose that one too. Then you will have no girl and no job. Then you'll have no girl, no job, no money. You got no girl, no job, no money, no rent to pay. No job, no girl, no job, no money, no ability to rent, no ability to eat. Pretty soon, you're fucked up in the street. If that's what you want, and being depressed for this girl is worth that much to give up your life, you're fucked, my friend. But if you have value, respect for your God, for your parents, for yourself, for your life, for the opportunity of being alive in this world and see what you can do in this world, then that pussy is all it was, an experience. Respect her, let her go, and you move on to bigger and better things. That's what I have to say about that with you. Otherwise, anything more, you got to go make an appointment. We'll talk. Julian says, hi, Maran, male 27 with HOCD since 2 years. Yeah, sometimes it takes that long. It took me about 1.5 years. But I didn't know any of the shit that I know now. If I did, it would have been gone. But sometimes it takes long. But it just went because I guess I was just old school. I didn't care about what thoughts were showing or saying. I always knew that this is a thought. That's not me. Naturally, I'm not agreeing with the thought. So eventually, it was hard because I didn't have the knowledge. I had to just destroy the thought, stop the thought, and argue with the thought, and conclusions, go all kind of things. That's why I now know so much, because I did all the shit that you guys are trying to do, and then I understood how to apply what needs to be applied, and then I educated myself, all the neuroscience and all the scientific backgrounds and philosophical backgrounds, and from the thoughts and consciousness of fear and the relationship between all the components of the brain, the amygdala, prefrontal cortex, and the striatum, basal ganglia, all the rest of it. Then I could make sense of it all, how it works, and then I can present it to you guys in a silver platter. But it did take a while when I didn't know any of these things, and sometimes it might, but it's okay. No matter how long it takes, is not real. Is your ability to understand that is not real is the key. Is your ability to be able to separate the brain from you, that you're not the brain and brain is not you, is the key. And I have videos on all these. Watch, look, just type in HOCD or OCD, either way. You will have these kind of lists, and you look at the titles and watch them. I've proven to you, using philosophical point of views and modern science techniques and evidences, through modern science, that you're not the brain, brain is not you. Using all these brilliant researchers and neuroscientists, neurosurgeons, and uh, psychologists, psychotherapists, and researchers. All that I put it in this on this channel. It's all there for you guys. It does take a year and a half sometimes. Doesn't have to. The more educated you are, the sooner you can, help your brain to rewire itself. No exam. Don't be like that. Don't these are all bullshit. That I finish. I don't have any. Every day you have exact same thing you had all the time because every day is renews. Every cell of your body every day is refreshes and renews. So you're a new person every time with all capabilities you always had. They don't deplete. So don't think that way. Look, you're giving all these labels to yourself. I'm traumatized, so you kind of registering that I'm this. I'm traumatized. I cannot do. So you're giving clues to the brain. You're giving command to the brain that I'm traumatized. I'm depressed. I can't do it. I don't have any more. So these are what you're telling your brain, which is contrary to what you really want to accomplish. So listen, you go make an appointment with me. I can't keep dedicating it to one topic here, but trust me, you need to talk to me. 28 years India. 28 years old, if you don't shape up, I'm going to get my ugly stick and come to India and break it on your head. So you better shape up. 28 years, you're a young kid, and you're fucking yourself up over a girl. If it was like 10, 20 girls, maybe I understand. But what? Come on now. Get off your ass. Go get your life back and get better girls. That's how you can do it. Get better girls. All right. Anyhow, go make an appointment if you want, then we'll chat. Dennis says, hello, Maryland. Dennis, 27 from Maryland. Oh, Maryland. 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 It's a land that is Mary. I know where it is. Eastern United States, yeah? When going through step one of the 4 steps method by Dr. Schwartz, where can I find the list of the emotions that you are supposed to identify within yourself? Look, you're not supposed to identify emotions, but he's got 8 of them apparently in his book. You got to go to his book, and if it's there, it's there. But generally, the short version of it is what I put up there. Dennis, male 27 from Maryland. Also, is it still HOCD if other people can notice it? Yeah, of course. It's like saying, well, I piss in my pants without me noticing it is something wrong. I ate something that is sensitive and make me piss. Now, is it still a glitch of what I ate because other people notice it? Yeah, they're supposed to notice it because you're pissing your pants. Same thing, you're behaving in a certain way. So other people are not dumb, they can notice it. It's all the same, it doesn't change it, just because people notice it. Rick says, sir, I already told him about my problem and my mental, but he said, I accept all your strength. Yeah, he said that when he had just told him, and he was just hoping to get some and to get close to you, and he was horny and he just liked you and for how you look and all that. But then when it took so long and you still weren't available, then it changed. Just because he said something doesn't mean it's forever. People say things. They say, I love you. I die for you. But 2 months later, they say, oh, I'm in love with somebody else. Because it didn't happen. It's like the same thing. You say, I'm hungry. But then you eat something, then half an hour later, you hungry? No, I'm not hungry. But you said you're hungry. Yeah, then I was hungry. Now I'm not. So, same thing. He said, I accept all thoughts and issues and so on and so forth. But he said it then. Time has passed and things didn't go the way it should have gone. So he couldn't wait any longer. Come on. Don't blame him and don't blame yourself. That's how you thought the decision should be made, and that's the decision you made. Now you learn better and you understand that you're fucking up your life for some thoughts, You got to deal with that and get on with your life and live your life. They should not be dictating your life. Miyamoto says, thank you, Meron. Thank you again, Meron, for your videos and live stream, helping me so much. Thank you. And I will try to become best version of myself and leave this HOCD and PMO. I don't know what that is. Addiction. Oh, porn. Addiction behind and improve my. Yeah, it's not about like I put it behind and all this. When you're educated about it, anytime it hits you, if it hits you again, then you know what it is. You don't freak out. Say, okay, it's another thought. Fuck it. Who cares? So many kind of thoughts shows up. If you're supposed to analyze every single one of them and you know relate them to your gender, your changing your personality just because a thought shows up, it's just ridiculous. There'll be 80, 90,000 different things that every day you're supposed to figure out. Ayushman says, how to stop loving X. Is she there with you? No. So what are you loving? Her image, memory? It's in virtual world. There's no physical aspect to it. So the only thing that doesn't have physical aspect to it you want to love is your God. But other than that, don't love anything that's got no physical aspect, because the way you are in this world is part mental, energy, and physical. So you relate to things that are physical, other than what I said, your spiritual values. So if she's not there, what's there to love? Sir, 23 India male. Oh, you're 23. Oh, you love a tree if it lets you. If you can get close to it, hug it, you'd love a tree because that's where you are. 23, we can love anything. And we think, oh, they're the perfect. Oh, that's the woman of my life. No. Just learn from it. This is how to stop loving and caring what X is doing. Well, it's not how to stop. It's just how to, you got to focus on how to love another, focusing on finding a new love. That's what you should focus on. When you focus on finding someone that is compatible to you and you love someone for their specialities and character and looks and so on, then naturally the old one will be forgotten. But as long as you don't make efforts like that, and everybody you see, you compare it to that one and you bring that one, oh, it's a sin, it's a guilt if I now betray her and go and love this one. Emotionally, I should be loyal to this one. All that shit keeps you there and brainwashes you, and you think that you still gotta love the ex. Why? Why should you love the ex? For what reason? Is she loving you? No, obviously not. She's probably laying up, legs up, and somebody's banging her. So what is it for you to love? She's not loving you. So what do you think they should love? Because you're fucking lazy. You don't want to go find another girl that is suitable and compatible to you. And you just want something that you've already worked on a little bit, and she smiled at you and she knows you a little bit, and they just want that. No, but you're 23-year-old and you get a hard on for a tree. So understand, this is why you love this girl, not because she's so amazingly accomplished in life and so amazingly human being and feeds the elderly and protects the younger children, and she's no, not because of that, because you're programmed to love women, that's all. So now go love another one because she's not available. That's the end of that. Thomas, you don't have to regret or erase that you ever had these thoughts in your head. What the fuck are you talking about? This is the brain. The brain makes these thoughts in every human brain is pretty much the same. It's not you that you want to be ashamed of it. What the fuck you're talking about? body has feelings that maybe your knee hurts, or maybe it feels itchy, or maybe something bugs you, or whatever, an allergic reaction. You're not supposed to think, oh, I'm ashamed, I'm perfect, it shouldn't happen. Well, it happens and they go away and you deal with it. The brain the same. What do you have to now think? How can I forget that these sort of thoughts ever came to my head? What the fuck are you, Mr. Perfect? We're human beings and we have all kinds of components here and they go wacko sometimes. What's the responsibility of you? It went wacko. It's not your problem. You just have to now manage it and help it to heal rather than blaming yourself. It's a malfunction of the operating system. What the fuck it's got to do with you? Angel CD says, hello, sir, for applying the 4 steps continuously. I'm already better. So thank you very much. But I feel that there is a barrier it is 5 minutes that I simply do not have these thoughts. No, because you're concerned about, whoa, the thoughts are not here. They should be here. Oh, where is it? And you look for it because it's become a habit. And you think that I got to look for it to see if I can't find it, then I'm okay. It's another assurance. And that causes actually the thoughts coming in because you're looking for it. So you're retrieving it. Shouldn't do any of that. Whether it's there or not, it doesn't matter. You're looking for a span of time that there would be no intrusive thought. No, intrusive thoughts can come and go as they wish. No problems. I'm the master. I just decide, should I pay attention to them or not? That's all. They can come and go. I don't want to say that, oh, I'm okay now because none of them show up. No, there's no brain that they don't show up. All of them show up. But the caudate nucleus shuts it down and you feel it and then it goes away. But because it's not it's malfunctioning now, the intrusive thought shows up, caudate nucleus doesn't shut it down, it stays there, and you think, oh, I'm thinking about it all the time. No, because you now keep analyzing it and you make it to become a cycle and a habit for the brain to keep producing them because you're trying to get rid of them. You pay so much attention to them that they keep coming back because your attention is on it. You need to understand that it doesn't matter if they're there or not. There's no relevancy to them. There's no interpretation needed, no analysis needed, no assurance needed, no destruction of it needed. They don't need to disappear for you to be whole and perfect. No, none of them. You just allow them like they are made to be brain with all this stuff that is out in the open, all the information that seeps through, and the brain's job is to make thoughts, and it makes thoughts. So you allow thoughts to exist, but you just choose and veto whatever it is that is appropriate to you and within your values, and that's how you live, rather than trying to diminish, demolish, dissipate any of these thoughts, and then I'm fine. No, nobody's like that. Intrusive thoughts are part of the human psyche. You just have to understand, recognize them. That's intrusive thought. Boom, boom, go. It's like you go from here through a few streets to your destination, and on the way you see so many things that is not palatable or interesting to you. So what do? You don't just, oh, that's, why is it there? Oh, why? And then you go another block, say, why was that thing there? You don't do that. You just say, okay, and then it's okay, keep going, keep focusing on things that you're interested in. And then you don't even notice all that shit. And they're there, you notice them, but you just keep on going. But in your brain, every time something that is not desirable shows up, you notice it. Oh, I gotta get rid of it because I'm perfect. If it's here, that doesn't mean I'm perfect. I gotta get rid of it to be perfect. None of that shit is necessary. It's a brain. It's not a holy grail. It's a brain. It fucks up. No. All kind of information in, all kind of shit comes out of it. Same thing. In the olden days, there were not so many topics of discussion out there which was irrelevant to most of us. I mean, topics are relevant to some people, but not all topics are relevant to all people. But today is so much information about everybody's lifestyle and everybody's preferences out there and spoken about it so much that it's just simply irrelevant to most people, most of the things out there. But we hear it. And because it's out there and we all become aware of it, the brain also gets all these and uses them to make thoughts and focuses on them and makes opinions about it and so on. So you let it be. You don't have to participate in what the brain notices and uses as the thoughts and creates thoughts, intrusive thoughts, or whatever. You just say, okay, thoughts can exist, but I live by my vetoes and choices. So I go from my starting point to my destination during my day, and whatever is there, it's there. I notice it, but I focus on where I want to go, what I want to accomplish. Same thing. All these things, information, brain gets it in and makes thoughts, and all these sort of intrusive thoughts can show up during the day now and then. While I'm not busy or busy, doesn't matter. But what I do, I learn how to navigate through and focus on what I want to do, because these thoughts are like things out in real life. They exist, but I don't pay attention to stuff that I'm not interested out there. So I don't pay attention to the stuff that I'm not interested when the brain introduces them. I just keep on doing my things. That's the way to do it. But you want to get rid of him. 5 minutes only. Oh, there should be 20 minutes. Then I know I'm perfect. I'm cured. I'm good. You're looking for a conclusion. I'm saying no brain has no intrusive thoughts all the time. Sometimes we have it repetitiously, often. Sometimes don't have it. Sometimes we have and don't have it. It doesn't matter. I allow thoughts to be. Whatever nasty thought to my values come in, I say, okay, that's nasty. I go, okay, I notice it, but I don't linger there. I go, do my other things, have my tea. It's not about being cured. It's about understanding how the brain works and malfunctions and fucks up and so on. No, what's missing is that you keep trying to increase the barrier or the length of the time that intrusive thoughts don't show up. No, there's no such thing. They can show up all the time. It's the ability to swim through them and navigate your way. It's not ability to stop them from happening. That's not the normal brain. Normal brain makes all kind of shit thoughts all the time. Your ability would be to be able to navigate despite of all. You're traveling on your ship on the ocean. There's all kind of debris and all other ships and sharks and garbage and shit, and everything is in the water. It's not the matter of these things shouldn't be in the water so I can say I had a good sailing. No, good sailing is when you can navigate with all this shit around you, but you focus on your path and you can simply, to a bigger extent, ignore them. You recognize them, but you doesn't let it affect you because you allow these things to exist, but you focus on your existence. And that's the end of the thing. It's as simple as that, pretty much. Chinmay says, thank you for your patience, sir. I'll speak to him personally and pitch the idea of a Skype session with you. Currently, the affordability is an issue. I understand that, Chinmay. I understand that. But so I tried to explain as much as I could, and I did. I think if you guys watch this portions that is pertaining you guys will see that there's enough thing there for him to use it. Plus all the videos that is available. I don't know. I think I've got maybe 1,000 videos on this topic. And Thomas says, trust me, what you said, knowledge is true. More knowledge, less fear. And yes, it's true. I did try to look if the thoughts did not show up, and then it should show up. Yeah, I know. Nothing like this bothered me, and you're right. I need to stop feeling like I need to forget these images and thoughts for good. Yes, my technique is just to say whatever. This is, whatever is the right word for almost everything in life. Okay, guys, it's been almost 2 hours, 3 minutes, 2 more minutes, it'll be 2 hours. So it's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to our next live stream. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mindthatseekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.